You are now listening to the War Report Podcast Network.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to College League Podcast. I'm Dylan, A-Boy Took on Twitter, and we are much later than normal today. I passed out last night, sleep-wise, and wasn't able to record. But here we are today. It's currently 4:45 p.m. CST. Auburn Basketball, just 3 hours away from playing Texas A&M tonight. Number 22, Texas A&M at that in College Station. Auburn currently listed as a 4.5-point favorite, with ESPN FPI giving Auburn a 70% chance to win this game. Availability report, Denver Jones, the only person on it, listed as questionable for the Tigers, which I'm not opposed to keeping Denver out until he is fully ready to go going forward. Looking at this game, I think it's a great opportunity to kind of showcase some of your depth in a way. Let JP Pegues get some minutes here. Let Jaheim Hudson, Ja'Kai Howard, let all those guys get opportunities in this game, because the SEC's already been clinched, which, that don't take that as any indication for Auburn just to quit playing basketball and quit playing their brand of basketball. But I think it's a great opportunity when you get into the deeper parts of March, whenever you need moments from your other guys on the bench. You can kind of see what they're made of in SEC play before you kind of go on. Of course, we know what Jaheim is. He is the defensive guy, not really leaning on him to do anything offensively. Ja'Kai Howard, you get what you get with Ja'Kai whenever he is on, when he's on. But JP, I would love to see JP Pegues get 6 or 7 points in this game. Of course, for Texas A&M, you got Wade Taylor, the fourth senior. Of course, every Auburn fan who's ever watched basketball over the past few years knows who Wade Taylor is. He's had some pretty good games versus Auburn over the past few years, and of course, Texas A&M has in general. Coach Buzz is literally like the kryptonite to Bruce Pearl. It is wild over the few years how adamant Texas A&M is to spoil Auburn's season. I can't even go back. I mentioned this so much, the 2022 season, where the tournament, at least, where Texas A&M just knocked Jabari and Walker out in the first round they played in. It was absolutely stupid. But regardless of Wade Taylor, he is a scorer and a playmaker. Dude is an absolute dog. He's going to be Miles Kaling and Todd Pettiford's problem tonight if Denver Jones is not available to go. He's on the shorter side, 6 foot on the dot. But again, he plays taller than he is. A dude is an absolute menace to look out for. So is A&M in general. Defensively, they are a really good team. They just had some bad luck over the past 4 games. They're on a 4-game skid right now, losing to Mississippi State, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, and most recently Florida, 89-70. And of course, before then, they're not a team that gives up a lot of points. You look at some of these games, they give up 75, 76, 67, or 68, 72, 64, 53 down the line. But on the other side of that, they're not a team that puts up a lot of points either. Wade Taylor is a great scorer. And of course, they have Zurich Phelps, who is right behind them. Those two guys are averaging 29 a game amongst the two of them, with Wade Taylor getting 15 and Zurich getting 14. But after that, you don't have many scores on this team. They're not a great team offensively, but they are very solid defensively. So I kind of look at this game. If you're not going to get Denver tonight, if you're going to try to do some more things or new things with your team, kind of see who in the road could fit into the rotation, maybe later on in March, whenever you need some guys to take less minutes just to get them some breaks. You're not willing to do that in general, but I want to see JP in this game. I want to see JP get some time. But ultimately, this game is hard for me to kind of look at what Texas A&M does and look at what Auburn does and not see Auburn getting the win here. And I want to say I could see Auburn just barely covering that spread, just based on how guys kind of rotate. But with Janai Broome being the best player in the country, with this being the best team in the country, with the best coach in the country, I like Auburn to win this game and continue A&M's losing streak here. Auburn 85, A&M 75. Auburn gets a nice little 10-point win in the midweek, getting ready for Alabama up next. But yeah, I mean, that's the only thing I'm really worried about is Wade Taylor going off and A&M just like, oh, we're playing the number one team in the country. That's just turned into the prime Golden State Warriors, because that seems to happen every single week. Auburn plays a team that's like in the middle of a slump. But yeah, I mean, this is a great midweek game. Auburn gets a chance to add another quad one win to their resume and get another chance to add another one at the end of the week on Saturday, and continues to build that resume. Number one team in the country. I don't even think Auburn needs to play in this tournament to really get that number one overall seed. I think they've had that pretty much down pat for the past few weeks now. But yeah, it's a quick little preview because it's hard to figure out a team that can beat this team right now. Of course, Alabama's on Saturday. That's going to be a tough one. But regardless, Auburn is still going to be celebrating with Neville Arena about the SEC regular season championship. But next week is, of course, the SEC tournament. So we'll try to get an episode up every day for the previews of those games. If we can, we'll definitely try it. And definitely for March Madness as well, trying to get those up as much as possible just to keep 24/7 coverage of all things Auburn basketball. But quick little break real quick. I mean, this is going to be a quick episode. I got women's basketball, baseball, and softball up next. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Are you tired of having to rummage through just clothes after clothes after clothes, looking for something to wear? Are you tired of your friends making fun of you for your terrible fashion sense? Well, do we have the shirt for you? Go to thewarreport.com, get your laptop out and do it right now. Go to the shop and get your very own Feelin' Loopy t-shirt as well as your college loop hat, and you can get both of them for only $25 each. Plus shipping and handling, of course. But with that, now back to your regular scheduled program. It's available on the warreport.com, second page of the shop. You'll find both college loop hat and Feelin' Loopy t-shirt. Kind of items you're wearing in your entire life. Get those today. Of course, there's only one way to support the channel. The best way to support the channel is, of course, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Leave your predictions for Auburn at Texas A&M tonight at 8 o'clock p.m. And might I add, don't forget, comment in the description below. The TCL College Loop for short March Madness bracket is live for you to go ahead and join. It's on the March Madness Live app. Of course, I think it's called the College Loop Bracket Group, and password is, of course, Feelin' Loopy. That's Feelin' Loopy. That's the hashtag. Hashtag Feelin' Loopy. No G, not feeling. Feelin'. So moving on. Auburn women's basketball is, of course, moving on to the SEC tournament this week. Tomorrow, to be exact. Auburn is opening up as the 14th seed. And they're taking on Florida at the 11th seed. Of course, these two teams have met earlier this year. Auburn got the win 74-51, but Auburn ended the year on a 6-game skid. Definitely, I mean, not the tournament in the side. It's not March Madness, at least. I could see Auburn getting the win at Florida. This game is going to be 8:30 p.m. So back-to-back 8 o'clock midweek games for Auburn men's and women's basketball. Again, Auburn beat Florida earlier this year, but you'd move on and you'd play Alabama, who Auburn did not have a great game against. They started off strong, but they were not able to get it done in the second half yet again, which has been the story of the year. Auburn does have a tough stretch, though. If they were to make it past Alabama, who is the 6th seed, they'd have to play LSU, and then they'd have to meet with Texas, and they'd have to probably meet with South Carolina, and then that's really the only way for Auburn to make it to March Madness for women's basketball is you got to beat Florida, Bama, LSU, more than likely Texas, and more than likely South Carolina, and then somehow, some way, you made it in. But I just don't think it's plausible with how the season's gone and how the second halves have been, and just athletes not being, the girls just not being up to par health wise. I mean, it's just. I will say I do find it to be an absolute sham that Deona Gaston got second team All SEC. Don't understand how that worked. Don't understand how that happened. Absolutely stupid I hate it. But currently Florida is projected to win the game. But I would not be shocked if Auburn moved on to the second round, but I don't see them making it past that. Definitely just a season that sweep under the rug, move on to next year, get healthy, get healthy, and that would do them a lot of good moving forward. Then rounding out the midweek games, of course, baseball moved their game back to Wednesday, so they'll be playing tomorrow at UAB, of course, at Birmingham. University of Alabama, Birmingham. The game will be at 5:30 p.m. CST, so you can check that game out and softball out before the women's basketball game because they're both going on tomorrow. So UAB currently, I just messed everything up on my end. Pull all that stuff back up that I just had open. Let's see here. Everything just glitched out on me. That's crazy. UAB currently 9-2 on the year, with losses to Maryland and another loss to Troy earlier this year. So yeah, meet number 22 Auburn. UAB as a team, they're batting .283, and as a pitching wise, they are allowing about it says 3 runs, but averaging letting about 3 runs a game. Auburn, of course, coming off of a weekend where they beat number 8 Oregon State. I definitely think that Auburn's going to take down this midweek and get ready for their weekend series versus Old Dominion. Of course, you got this weekend, and then the next weekend, you got SEC conference play, which Auburn softball taking on Troy to celebrate Mardi Gras. Number 17 Auburn moving up in the rankings, up 3 spots from last week. Taking on Troy at J.B. Moore Field at 6 o'clock p.m. CST. Game will be on SEC Network Plus, and also going to be available to listen to on Weagle 91.1 FM. So the Tigers softball are getting ready. Get out of this midweek to take on SEC conference play. You're going to start off that with number 21 Mississippi State. But before that, you got to go to Troy, play against Troy. Currently on the year, Troy is 12-8. Not the best team, not the worst team, but definitely a team Auburn should beat. This is, of course, a team that was not able to put up a single run against Georgia Tech and Michigan from this past week, and got a win over Wisconsin. So it definitely could be a game Auburn could slip up on. They played Florida last weekend and lost 11-2. As a team, they're batting .330, which very solid. But pitching wise, I mean, they're giving up about four runs a game. I like the Tigers in this one. I mean, they've been one of the best teams in the country. I think they're number 1 in RPI, which is crazy. This team has looked really good. They had one slip up, but other than that, they have looked really, really good. I am super stoked. I mean, I expected this to be a season to not like look past, but I didn't expect them to be as good as they've looked thus far. And of course, Mississippi State coming up this weekend, opportunities to let them shine even more. I'm super stoked for Auburn softball. Still trying to figure out which weekend I want to go towards. I'm thinking of the Georgia one strictly because that's 8A weekend. I'll already be in Auburn, so I could just go to 8A, then slip across Auburn and go to J.B. Moore and watch the Tigers beat down Georgia. So, yeah, I got Auburn beating Troy this week and then getting ready for the midweek versus Mississippi State. And, of course, this is going to be a quick episode as we are just done. Stay tuned for tomorrow. We're going to go over the SEC win totals that got released by FanDuel. Just kind of see where Auburn stands. Do they go over or do they go under what they're projected to get in 2025? So stay tuned for that Thursday. There we go. Thursday. Of course, it'll be regular time, regular place, same bat time, same bat channel, so on and so forth. Thanks for watching some of the College Loop podcast. Make sure to watch Auburn Basketball take down Texas A&M tonight at 8 o'clock. And hopefully I don't have any more episodes come out at 4. This was kind of I had to speed home to make sure I got this episode recorded. So thank you for watching this installment of the College Loop podcast. Check us out on social media platforms, literally everywhere, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, the works, all is the College Loop. Instagram at Dylan Larck for me, and all your friends of the show on Spotify Podcast, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music. And now, officially, with all that being said, thanks for watching this episode of the College League Podcast. And as always, War Eagle.